Good. Okay. Good morning, Bill.
Morning.
How are you doing this morning?
Oh, I guess I'm okay.
Well, that's kind of where I am. Oh, okay. Well, I can understand having had to drive through the roundabout area.
Oh no, actually, it's now
Not
working pretty well. Yeah.
Oh,
It's,
good. Yesterday it was just about blocked.
I guess when they get the guys in the roadway to do something, they
Yeah.
have to stop it.
Yeah.
Um, and now that it's almost completed, when they stop it, everything stops rather than,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
letting everything creep through every
Well-
which way, so.
Well, yesterday we had to go to Middletown, fortunately, because instead of turning left, we turned right and went the back roads out to.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, it
Yeah, it's looking pretty good.
It is?
It's I mean, they have the almost finished pavement on. Um,
yeah,
and they're cleaning up the guardrails and
yeah.
culverts and things of that sort, so I don't know how much longer. I mean, they've been impressive at the rate they've gone. Certainly compared to the bridge.
Yeah, that's true. That I love the walkway on the bridge. There's that section in the middle with no railing.
Right.
Whoops. Well.
And it's been that way for quite a while.
Yes.
So I don't know why they do.
Well. But and they've started working on the other roundabout.
Yeah.
So.
Well, they're digging up the road between the two this
Yeah.
morning.
Oh yeah. Be interesting to see how they do that because it looks
Yeah.
like they're going to have to really cut into
The businesses there, yeah.
well, or the other side into
Yeah.
the wall dirt.
Yeah. I don't know whether they want to get too close to that in the winter. I mean, that's just runoff there.
Yeah.
That looks like Jeff.
I think it's Jeff. Morning, Jeff.
No sound.
No sound. I don't see it. It's not saying mute though. Can't hear you.
Now?
Ah, there you
How
are.
about now? Okay,
Yes.
got it. All right. Sorry, I'm on my phone again. I'm sorry. The laptop is dead. Long live the laptop. I'll try and fix that when I get back from vacation.
Yeah. Is it
But
next
I
week?
won't try. I mean, I can't fix it. I'll try and get a new one. Is what I should say. I can't get it. I can't fix that one, but I'll
Yeah.
try and get a new one when I get back.
Is it
So
next week we see you?
yes, I will be there a week from now.
Ta-da. Okay. We'll look forward
Yeah,
to it.
Yeah.
yeah, me too.
Be nice to know that you're real.
Yeah, I sometimes need to verify that for myself, David. So I understand.
Indeed.
Crazy life, but yeah, I look forward to seeing you guys. And if I don't, do you have another class also on Tuesdays besides this one?
No, I only do one class a day now.
Okay, well, if you are interested or if you're up to it, I'd be happy to and desirous of like maybe getting a half of a private lesson before or after our class, either
Okay.
one. You can let me
I
know.
don't have my schedule with me. I have so many doctor's appointments these days, although they're
Just let me
tapering
know.
off. Uh,
Good. Yeah,
but
you can let me know. Check
yeah,
later tomorrow.
let me
That's
verify
fine.
what my schedule is.
All right.
Um,
Just I don't want to take up our whole class just working on me while I'm there with you guys. So,
yeah,
if we can do that, that'd be great.
sure. Um, just I've had my follow-up appointments with
Yeah.
my pacemaker, and they're saying that I'm doing very well. So
Yay. Good
everything's
news.
stable at the moment. How long
Great
that
news.
is, I have no idea, but I'll take stable for the moment.
Yeah. Well, that's
Yep.
what it's
That's
supposed to
great.
do. So,
Yeah, indeed.
Okay. Good.
How are things in Florida?
Uh, okay. Hectic as we try and get a lot of stuff done before we leave on Thursday morning early.
Yeah.
So I'm coming down to the wire. I have to get ahead on work and, had to coordinate a lot of other things. I've got a house sitter coming tomorrow night to stay here and watch the house and take care of Bambi and all that kind of stuff. So just a
Yeah.
lot of last minute stuff, odds and ends and, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But so far, so good. We'll be there.
How's the boy?
Oh, really? He's doing great. He's looking forward to our trip, but he's doing very well. I'm hoping, I don't know for sure if he and Kate will be coming with me up there on Tuesday or not, but we'll
Uh-huh.
see. I'm hoping so. We'll
Yeah.
see.
Um, is he happy with his school?
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh,
he's still in an acclimation period, but he's much more comfortable than he was initially because not only was it a new school or is it a new school, but it's a whole new ideology and way of doing things. So it
yeah.
took him some time to adjust to the differences, but he loves his teachers. He's got two full teachers and an assistant in the class, and he adores them all. They adore him, so it's going well.
Good.
We need to work on things a little bit at home still in terms of school, but even that he's doing well with. So
Good.
far so good, I think. Yeah,
Good.
yeah.
All right. Well, onward and upward.
Yep.
it's happy.
It's very happy today. Good.
Yep.
So, questions on lengthening? Reports?
I don't look taller.
I thought you were 2 inches taller.
Um, Nothing specific from me right now. No.
No.
Do you feel any improvement?
Very
Yeah.
little, and I just attribute that to not doing it enough, unfortunately. But
Yeah.
not a lot of improvement yet. So,
Okay.
I I feel like it's gradually. I tend, it's interesting. Normally, I'd say I'm the kind of person who would want to measure it every day, like with a pole, but I'm avoiding that, you know.
Yeah.
I'm trying to just feel it, you know,
Yep.
rather than say, okay, let's see how.
And that's an important way to think of it, because that's where we are with both of the practices you're working on and with this, is that we're really moving more into the internal.
Yeah.
And that's not measured by what you're doing outside, but by what you feel inside. So, good. So, we will get to lengthening in, but I'm going to follow my teacher's direction and do something that is related at the moment, and it's based on a principle that you're already very familiar with, and let me just say, Bill's going to hear this for a second time, but lucky Bill.
Well, you know, every little bit helps.
Well, I'm very familiar with that, and the need to hear things more than once.
yep.
So all of our movements need to be circular and eventually spherical. And that, of course, is related to lengthening and twisting and bending and stretching. But we want to begin to try to develop a way to be aware of that, at least the circularity, on an internal basis. One of the physical reasons and energetic reasons for having everything circular or spherical is that that's how you most effectively increase the movement of the blood, and therefore the energy, and eventually your connection to the nervous system. And also, when you get the circularity to be continuous, of course, you avoid the breaking of the flow of the energy. So, one of the ways, well, the way that Bruce taught us to work on this is kind of an interesting one, in that the first part of it is to just be aware of where your dantian is. And one of the things I would say here is that we talk about it as being 1.5 inches or 2 inches below the navel. It could be a little above that. It could be a little below that. Quite frankly, it could be pretty much anywhere between the top of the pubic hair and the navel. So you have to feel, where is your dantian? And also, the aha from one of the students in the Wednesday class was, oh, it's further inside than I realized. Yeah, it's in the middle of the body. It's not on the surface. So the first thing is just to locate your dantian. Where is that? Where is your dantian? And then the first exercise is to taking that connection to the dantian, simply expand your hand outward using the Laogong point, and expanding outward, maintaining a pressure into the dantian. And there will come a point where it begins to decrease. When you get to that point, that's as far as you want to go with it at the moment. So I want you just to do that first. Stand up, find your dantian, really connect to it. One of the things you can do is you start with that hand that where you're locating the dantian, and then when you go to the Laogong point, use a finger on the other hand to maintain your awareness, just lightly touching the abdomen so that you don't lose where is my dantian. Don't lose your dantian. And you're just looking for that pressure between the dantian and the hand. And so just try that several times with each hand, because it may be different left and right. And if you have questions, speak up.
Why is it different left and right?
Because you are either left or right-handed.
Okay.
And interestingly enough, it can cause opposite reactions. In other words, some people, if you're right-handed, sometimes that will mean that the right hand is more open.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it means it's more closed. So
With me, it's more open. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
with most people it's more open, but it can be more closed because you have put more focus into the physical in that arm.
It's interesting because as I said last Wednesday, I have no trouble sensing it with the right hand, a lot with the left hand, but normally I'm not ambidextrous, but I do a lot of things with my left hand fairly easily, so it's not this thing over here, but it even if I go like this, I can feel heat in this temple, but almost nothing, coming off my left hand. Yeah.
Huh.
So it's curious. That's all.
It is, and it simply indicates that there are some blockages on that left side. It's just not as open. Even if you feel like you're pretty ambidextrous, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's energetically open.
Yeah.
So, anything for you, Jeff?
Yeah, actually, I feel a lot of heat generated throughout my upper body.
Good.
A little bit more so with my right hand, but very clearly with both. I feel like I'm just walked into a room that's like 10 degrees warmer.
Good. Okay, that's a good sign. Do you feel the pressure in your dantian?
I feel it more in my hand than in the dantian, but a little bit in there. But like when I compress it a little bit, I feel that compression more so as a pressure on my Laogong point than on the dantian, actually.
Mm-hmm. So this kind of interesting thing, this points out that fact that initially it can go either way. The connection can be generated from the hand or from the dantian, and eventually movement can be generated from either.
Hmm.
So the fact that you feel it more in the hand than the dantian at the moment is not a
Right.
bad thing. That's just where you are at the moment.
Right.
Eventually, you want it to be more equal. You want to have a
Yeah.
stronger feeling in the dantian so that you are able to use it to lead the movement.
Yeah, I'm in the same place, you know, with the hand is more involved than the
Yep.
dantian itself. Although I have a pretty clear sense of the pressure between.
That's good.
Uh,
Yep.
that's not palpable, but yeah.
It's there.
It's there, yeah.
Yeah. And in all of this, the size is not really important. It's what you feel. Eventually, you want to be able to expand it into a large movement that you then can make a small movement. I mean, you're going to go both ways with it eventually. But if you can, and you both do have that sense of awareness of that, you want to extend that hand out as far as you can go and still maintain the pressure between the two, particularly if you can into the dantian. And then, maintaining that pressure, draw a circle with that arm. Now, one of the things I'll say is that very often when you start this, you will find that the pressure disappears and then you can pick it up again, or disappears over here and then you pick it up again. But what you're looking for is being able to maintain it all the time, continuously. And again, it's important to try it with both arms.
So the left is just not, you know, giving me much. Do I just keep doing it, waiting, or
I think the word
hunt for a blockage? Last Wednesday I was hunting for a blockage, and didn't come up with anything.
So it could be anywhere starting in your neck down to your arm.
Okay.
So it might even be in chest or back. So you haven't done did you do the meditation class?
I'm sorry?
Did you do the meditation class?
I did a meditation class, quite some time ago, yeah.
Yeah. So, really developing the ability to be aware. I mean, we, at this age, unless we've been meditating and clearing all our lives, we got a lot of blockages in there.
Okay.
And in each of the energy bodies. And it takes a while to clear them out, or to clear even some of them out.
Yeah.
So simply really focusing on trying to begin to feel where very likely something doesn't feel quite right, even if you don't know what it is. You remember that's the third one.
I mean, very clear physical compromises.
Huh?
The shoulder, the rotator cuff is gone. I've got spurs in there.
Okay.
I wear a magnet brace to bed at night, to get through the night. And
Yeah.
my range of motion with my neck in either direction, but especially this, it doesn't go farther than that,
So, really, I mean, then undoubtedly you have a number of blockages in that area, and so you can release some of the energy through there. Whether you can get it clear or not is certainly a question, but you'd be surprised at how you can improve. I have, I think you all know, I have spinal stenosis, and so I start every day with lower back pain. But part of my work in the morning, in addition to heat and ice and stretching, is dissolving that pain. And I can at least mitigate it. Not always get rid of it, but I can change it so that it's better. So you can, if you really focus on that, it can make a difference. I'm not saying it's going to make your shoulder.
Well, I mean, obviously. I mean,
Yeah.
if the rotator cuff isn't there, I mean,
Yeah.
thinking about it is not going to bring it back.
No. So it may be that the left arm will always be a little less for you. But you can probably improve it.
Okay.
But that's practice.
Yeah.
Oh.
Hello.
Oh. Moki came to visit. One of the cats came to visit.
Oh, okay. I don't see him on here. I was wondering who you were
No, he's
talking
on
to.
the floor at the moment.
Right.
Here he is.
Ah, there we go.
Mwah.
Hello.
He's a sweetie.
So David, when you do your morning, what you were just talking about to help your lower back, what is it that you do after you do the heat and the cold and all of that? What specifically do you do?
I have a 20 to 30 minute regimen of stretches and strengthening exercises that I do. I don't know, I probably do 20 different things at least. I don't,
Oh, wow.
I mean, I can go through it with you at some point, but I don't think I could do it right
Yeah.
now effectively.
Well, maybe when I'm there and we have our private time, you can show me a little bit of that. Just because I have a lot of the same problem in the morning. So, and mine's not as bad as yours, I'm sure, but I have some things that I do. It's all skeletal, so it's not going to get better.
Yeah.
It's only going to get worse over time. So, okay, just curious.
So, hello. Do you have questions about that exercise?
Why did you have us doing the drawing the circle also? What is that? How is that taking it to the next step as far as what we did before that, which was
You're
disconnecting?
developing an awareness of circularity, and
Right.
I'll give you another thing you can do that will really point that out. So make your connection. Extend that arm. Find where you can take the pressure to. And then draw your circle, maintaining that pressure in the dantian. And then just relax for a moment, release that, And then put your arm out and draw a circle with your arm and feel the difference.
Yeah.
It it just isn't the same. So circles out in front of you with each arm. The next thing to work on is circles and spheres don't only go in one direction. So finding that connection again and doing a vertical circle in front of you. And same thing, you're trying to keep that connection to the Dantian. And remember that you should also try all your circles in both directions. I hadn't really emphasized that. But if you think about our Tai Chi movements, we don't do them in just one direction all the time. We have a lot of changes, which is another aspect of this. You want to also work on diagonal circles if you like. A circle that goes out on one side and comes back in on the other, because that's different than you can also work on letting the body rotate as you do the circle. So releasing the qua. Yeah.
Which essentially puts us in the dynamic sphere. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Indeed. One other thing that you can do is start at the crown of the head. So you may want to connect to your Dantian and maintain that to the crown of your head, and then do a bigger vertical circle in front that's going into the Dantian, up to the crown of the head, and this too can go in both directions, out and in. And this one kind of emphasizes the fact that circularity doesn't mean literally always a circle, but always a curve. You crazy guy. So, questions in there? Okay.
Nope.
Who invited you to class? So one of the things I might say is that when you know, when you get into Tai Chi, the circles are not always both arms together. you have an interweaving of circles. And so, in a way, though, you're kind of fortunate that we're working on the Wu style because there's more of a presence of working with a single sphere than the separated interweaving spheres, which occurs more in the Yang style. So we'll look at that in a minute. Any questions about this at this point?
No.
Okay. So what I want you to do is do the 8 gates and think about this. Now with the 8 gates, kind of interesting, and I'll just make this point that when you do the transitions, it's one ball, one sphere. But when you get into the pulsing, it's 2. Okay, so there we right away get a chance to more simply begin to be aware of how that can change, how the single ball can divide into 2 interweaving ones. And in each of the transitions, well, let me do one. You want to be aware of connecting to the Dantian, even though the hands are not going into the center. You're connecting energetically to the Dantian and maintaining that through those smaller circles. So this is part of why we worked all that time on the movement of the elbows, because you want all of this movement to be circular in here. Your elbows are circular, your shoulder is circular, eventually your scapula is circular, and the result in the hands is spherical. So do your 8 gates and play with that. Okay?
Good.
So what did you feel in doing that?
I felt the connection more than I have because we were working on it,
Mm-hmm.
not constant.
Yeah. Good. Jeff?
I would say that I felt more of I mean, I guess it should be a sphere, but more of an area in front of me between my arms and my dantian that was more tangible, more
Mm-hmm.
able to be felt, more
Good.
solid than usually I feel. And I think part of that is because I was actually focusing also on the continued connection between my hands and my dantian along with the circularity. And I think
Yep.
that trying to keep that awareness is what helped. And along
Yeah.
with that, I also got more heat as a byproduct, I think, of all that. But
Yeah.
that was the main thing I felt in all that. And that's, so that's a really good, I think a step forward, with that discussion that we're doing today as far as connecting the dantian and the hands with the circularity. I definitely feel a difference
Yep.
focusing on that.
And something else that I haven't said yet, that's certainly a part of this, is to keep emphasizing the feeling, because we put a lot of intellectual thought into what we're doing, but
Mm,
um, that's just the beginning. Um,
mm,
Ultimately, it's what you feel that's important. Um, One of the things I would say in watching both you and of course with you, Jeff, I'm not really sure on your phone,
right.
but there are some postures are obviously more difficult to keep the circularity of the elbows and therefore the shoulders and the scapula and not
Mm,
just drop into bending. Um,
right.
so really continuing to try to be aware of the fact that you don't want trying to think of one that was this was really clear. Um, Interestingly enough, I think it was heart. Um, it it You're not only trying to have a circle in the hands, but you're trying to have that circle also be in the elbows and in the shoulder and in the scapula. The scapula, when we talk about them going towards the spine and away from the spine, really we want them to do this one way or the other. Um, it should also be a circular movement. Small,
Mm,
difficult to feel at first. I certainly uh, wouldn't um, dispute that at all. But it's really finding how do I relax the shoulder and involve everything in all of these movements. Um, and I have to say, and as I was watching you, I was thinking that um, that kind of wonderful exercise from Dragon and Tiger,
mm,
where we that really develops that awareness of that whole connection, and the fact
mm,
that the elbow is circling. It's not It's not just bending. And it's the circle that helped you keep that connection to the Dantian.
Right.
Any other questions at the moment?
You had mentioned that I had let go of the bending and stretching pretty much, and I've been trying to pay attention to that. Did you?
I felt like you still had some work to do on that, but yes, you have made progress with that. There's no question. Important to remember that, well, obviously this also affects the central channel, that this is an exercise that is primarily focused on improving the flow in the side channel, connecting to that movement between, it's actually between the crown of the head and the etheric body above it and the etheric body below the feet. But where we're initially trying to feel it is from the shoulder's nest to the qua. I mean, that's where that's the line you're working with. So as soon as you bring the hands into here, you've lost that. So again, that's another piece of this, is getting all of these movements to have that circularity, but not drift into the center. And that doesn't occur with this movement, of course, but with some of the others. One thing I noticed, Jeff, is that your final position, remember, is at the middle dantian, which is just under the base of the sternum. It's not back up at heart level again. So you have one that's at heart level,
okay.
and you have one that's at the middle dantian level. Okay?
Okay. Yeah.
Other questions about that? No, it isn't easy. Simple, but not easy. So, in the form, as I said, at least initially, you're only working with one sphere. So, but it immediately, of course, has some places where it goes to 2. So I'm just going to do a section of the first part of the form and sort of talk that so that you perhaps get a sense of that. So initially, obviously, there are 2 spheres. Step right, David. Do the right thing, David. So then it becomes 1. Just watch me. And G is 1. Lu goes to 2, and An comes back to 1. And then you're with 1 sphere through that transition, and obviously on the right side, it's going to be the same thing again. And then it's 1, fortunately, all the way through this transition, but then it's 2. You couldn't think of it 1. You could do that one either way. This could be 1 big sphere, or it can be 2 interwoven smaller spheres. And then, of course, this is 2, but then it goes back to 1. And 1. And 1. And 2. And 2. And 2. and 2 and 1. Nothing to it.
No.
So questions about that? First?
No.
Okay. So what I'd like you to do is just do that much. Do it once, and then really try to see if you can feel that connection between the dantian and the circles, and then talk to me about it, and then we'll do something else. Okay. So, but one thing I would say right away is that follow Jeff's example, slow down. Because how are you going to feel all of that if you rush it? So that was a good thing to do, Jeff, to slow down. What did you feel?
Felt more attention to just roundness throughout.
Good.
I can't say that there was a whole lot of attention to the energy, the connection with the dantian, but
yeah,
just the roundness of the whole thing.
One thing I would say for you, a couple of things I would say for you. One is really keep working on not letting not letting a movement become.
Okay.
Because that's totally empty.
I'm sorry?
That's totally empty.
Yeah.
So, if you think about that movement, it's coming out at the back. It's not coming from the hands. One of the things that I didn't say about our circular exercise before, and applies equally to all of this, is don't pay attention to your hands. That doesn't help. That gets in the way, actually. So it's really hard because we see our hands right in front of us all the time. They're important to us, and we get focused on them.
Yeah.
But it's the whole round movement coming out, not.
Yeah, I get hung up on the 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
You know,
and that's something that working slowly can help with, because when you go quickly, it's fast. They're done. I did 3, but you may not have seen them.
Yeah.
So giving yourself the time and not going out too fast, recognizing that you have to give yourself the time to go through those and connect them. The other thing that's slowing down, I think, helps too, is letting go of stopping in between postures. So that's another good thing to be aware of, because whenever you stop, whether it's in the 8 gates or this, that interrupts the flow of the energy. And so that's, of course, what we would prefer not to do. On the other hand, let me say that I did feel that I saw more roundness in the movement as a whole, but I think it would be helpful to slow it down.
Yeah.
So I'd like you to do that section again a couple of times, and really keep working on trying to slow it down, connect everything, and feel the circularity connecting to your Dantian. So that's a lot. That's a huge amount, I understand, but see what you can.
Okay.
Did you have questions, Jeff? I'm sorry, I didn't.
No, not really a question, but just a realization that doing, putting the circularity and the connection and all into focusing on that with our 8 gates versus with our form, I've felt it much more with the 8 gates than I did just now with the form. I think just because of the repetition and because of the simplicity of the movements compared to the constantly changing movements. So I didn't notice a lot of difference in that initial go through that we just did, in other words, is what I'm getting at. But hopefully I will as we go on. So
I'm sure you will.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. lot more connected. I don't know how it felt to you, but
I'm sorry?
I don't know how it felt to you.
Yes, yeah. I was happy that I was able to maintain my balance throughout at probably a quarter of the speed that I was going before.
Yeah, it was much better.
Yeah.
One thing, after you do single whip,
Mhm.
and you shift, and you touch, and you step back, you rotate back, and now you're weighted here, which allows you to I have to do it, which allows you then to rotate and twist in, and then shift back. I felt like that sequence.
Yeah, the
was
shift in was lost in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because this is a push on a shift back, which is not something that appears in most martial arts, but does in Tai Chi.
All right. So again?
Yep.
Okay. I'm having my own little animal issue here too.
Yeah. Oh.
Well, she loves hanging out here with me, David, on the couch here, and then every now and because I think what we do makes her very peaceful as well. She likes the energy, she likes what we're doing, and she can feel it. And every now and then she comes over and wants some love while
Yep.
we're doing it.
Of course.
Sandy, you gotta go to bed.
Curry used to do that to me when I was practicing.
Yeah. 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 Yeah, come on, come on. Yeah. Good.
So when you do that, don't collapse your ball.
Sorry?
When you're doing shoulder, got to here, keep the roundness of the ball.
Okay.
Your tendency is to bring it in here.
Ah.
Okay?
Yes.
So yes, it's coming in, but it doesn't have to collapse in.
Okay.
And then when you go out, those two balls expand. They go. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I have always been
A little close there. Yeah. Yeah.
on not dropping my hands
Yeah.
through there.
I'm
Yeah.
good. Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I didn't that last time. I lost it. A little better, maybe.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Nope. It. Practice, practice, practice. What can I say? But that was it was definitely better, Bill.
Hmm.
Yeah. Well, I can't see too much, Jeff.
Yeah, I know. I know.
I'm looking forward to next week.
Yeah. Yep.
Or you may not be looking forward to it. I don't know.
Yeah.
So,
That'll be good.
any other questions in here at the moment?
Not at the moment.
Okay. Well,
Nope.
practice when you can, because that's what does it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, it is. All right. Thank you.
Yep.
And just whenever you check your schedule, let me know. If I could, tack on some time after the class rather than before, that would be preferred. But I'll take either that you can manage.
Okay. Well, let me check my schedule, and I'll get back to you later today.
Yep. See you next week,
Yep. No
Jeff.
problem. That'd be good.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Take care.
See you guys next week. Have a good week.
Uh-huh.
Take
Good.
care.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Back out into the cruel world.
Oh, the cruel world, huh?